In this edition of INN CEO Talks, I'm joined by Tony James, the CEO and Director of Galena Mining, a new Australian base and precious metal company building the first mine and exploring in the Edmund Sedimentary Basin in the Gascoyne region of Western Australia. Tony, welcome.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Bring us up to speed on what you're doing. I know that you've got this big project, the Abra project. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the Abra project's an interesting lead-silver project that's been sitting in the Edmund Basin for quite some time. The Abra, it's a joint venture between Galena Mining and Toho Zinc. So Galena Mining 60% and Toho Zinc out of Japan at 40%. The Edmund Basin's a mineral province that's never really been developed in Western Australia. It sits between the gold mining areas to the south and the iron ore mining areas to the north of the state. So we're actually building the first mine in that sedimentary basin. Very excited about what we're up to. It's probably the largest undeveloped lead mineral resource in the world, and it's definitely the cleanest. So we're getting very excited. We started building the project in the middle of year, and by January 2023, we'll have the project commissioned and start producing our first lead concentrate.
Yeah, when I went to your website, I saw that you've got all those images of construction underway, the construction camp and so on. How's production going? And as you say, come Q1 2023, you will commission the site.
Yeah, look, we're very excited. I think we've done a very good job, particularly this year with some of the challenges in the industry with building mines. Obviously, with COVID and other construction, supply issues that we're seeing in the industry. I think our timing was very good. We've been able to set up very solid contracts with very good service providers, and we're really on time and on budget, and it's all going very well. So it's not an overly complicated mine. It's an underground mine that uses very typical Western Australian mining techniques, going into a flotation circuit. And GR Engineering, who's building our plant, have built several of these plants before. So it really is a bit of a cookie cutter type of exercise for us. And because of that, and not having too much complexity, we're definitely going to be able to hit our targets.
This is lead that you are mining. Why is it so important that you focus on lead in a world that has gone crazy around the sexier metals that are associated with the green economy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Lead's not a very sexy commodity to market and talk to people about. And look, and I think we are very realistic about our views on lead. We certainly support not having lead-based paint, not having lead-based fuels. We really like the idea of lots of recycling in lead. But outside of that, I think it's very important to understand that lead actually is an important function going forward in our society. I think things like lead-acid batteries, which is the most dominant feature, in vehicles. Every vehicle in the world still has a 12-volt lead-acid battery, and the reason for that is it provides a very stable and safe system to help control those vehicles. Very, very important. There's 1.4 billion vehicles in the world, and there's 400 million lead-acid batteries that get consumed by the world on an annual basis, and 65% of that comes from just replacement batteries. So, I think it's very important that battery storage systems and lead, it plays a very important part in that going future. So it does go hand in hand with our changing world, and it's very important.
So what's the market for lead like right now? Because this is not a resource that people have been, focusing on from an exploration perspective over a number of years. Is it now time to really be re-entering that, market cycle for lead?
Look, I think lead offers a very stable, is a very stable commodity, and certainly when you combine the lead price with the Australian exchange rate, that works very well for us. I think the pricing is very consistent. It's been a very stable commodity over a long period of time, and we believe that that's going to continue for quite a few years to come. The Abra project starts off initially as a 13-year project. We're producing 93,000 tonnes of lead a year, and we have all of our supply agreements locked away. So, we think it actually offers, I think, investors a very stable platform and a little bit of diversity.
So the investment opportunity right now is to buy into a company that is just really coming online and watching that stock value rise, rather than you're in a position where you're going to be going back to the market looking for funds. Is that correct?
That's correct. We raised some money in late July, which was it's actually called a reserve facility, and that reserve facility that we raised has been put in place by the joint venture partners to look after our working cap risk period, which is the first initial commissioning period of the project. So we've put that in place, and we don't believe we need to raise any more money at this stage. The project's 80% complete. And I think a lot of people have been just sitting and watching us and watching how we would perform this year, and this year being quite a perceived difficult construction period, which is actually right, but we've done a great job. And I think at some stage, people watching our project will suddenly realise that, it's going. January's not that far away and everything's on track. So, our view is that I'm not sure when people will suddenly realise the value of the stock and jump in.
So that really is your message right now. Don't wait too long, because you might miss out on a great opportunity to be with a company that's going to be in business for a long time and provide a good return to investors.
Yeah, look, I think it's a very stable stock. I think we've done a great job building this project. I think we're on top of our risk profile, and this project's going to go ahead. This mine will start producing concentrate in January and start supplying the market. So we're very confident. So, I think people should do their own due diligence, but look at it very carefully because it certainly appears to be undervalued from our view.
One final question here. I can't help but think that you talk about the fact that you're in an area that is still developing as a mining region. What about the infrastructure in the area for you to be able to get the lead to market? Do you still have some considerations around that, or has that all been addressed?
We're actually able to access our site on public roads. So it comes off the Great Northern Highway, which travels from the south to the north up into the iron ore districts of Western Australia. So we're about 100 kilometres off that road. So we do have an unsealed part of road that goes across to the Great Northern Highway. So yes, that does present some risk in terms of if you have major rainfall events, cyclonic events, but it is a public road. We spend about $4 million a year in maintaining those roads. So really, in terms of the other infrastructure that we have in Western Australia, built on the mining industry, things like airport, air travel, supply agreements, reagents, transportation, trucking companies, all of that is in place. And every single thing that we've been able to do in this project is been able to piggyback on all of that infrastructure that's already in place. So in terms of skills, mining skills in Western Australia, there's 60,000 people do fly in, fly out of Perth out to the various mine sites in Western Australia, and we need another 200 people to just drop into that system. So all of the infrastructure is in place. The people are here to be used. All of the processes and training regimes, everything's here. So it's really, if you want to build a mine, this is the place to do it. So I think we're off to a great start.
Well, it sounds like you've got an exciting number of months ahead of you as we start to move towards you commissioning the mine site. I hope you'll come back and give us an update, because I'm sure that we piqued the curiosity of many potential investors who are going, oh, haven't heard of you, looks like a good opportunity, but maybe I just want to make sure that there are a few other updates that I'm going to be looking at along the way. So just on a final thought, to those people who are a little uncertain, what do you think that they should be looking at the most over the next couple months as they take a look at the company?
I think they should look at the ramp up, and I think that they should look at what we've done to actually build this project this year. I think what's exciting is the operating model that we've used to get to where we are, based on a lot of experience here in Western Australia. And the other thing that I think people should look at is the involvement of our joint venture partner, Toho Zinc, who are a very big, the number one lead player in Japan. They obviously really like this project, and they are a very big company that are supporting, effectively underwriting to a certain degree, our involvement as the operator here on the ground. So our relationship with Toho is fantastic, and I think that's quite a unique joint venture arrangement, and that's something that people need to take into consideration when they look. And also have a look at the product that we're making. So our product is going to be 75% lead in the concentrate, probably the best in the world, and we have 1/10 the deleterious elements that go into lead concentrates that people actually send to smelters. So what that means is that our product is probably going to be very sought after, and people will want to do that because of the cost, the downstream cost of processing and producing refined lead certainly has its advantages by looking at the Abra business model. So I'd encourage people to have a look and have a think about it, read up on lead, read up on what we're doing, and I think that they will be suitably impressed.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for your time today.